When will my manifestation arrive? Pushed out in 3D. It's nice and all to have it in my imagination and know that everything's within me, but I want it outside. I want it in my 3D. This question is just a story. And I know you've heard that that's the reason why you don't see it. I want to answer the looming question, concept of it's done. That everything you want is done and it's here and now. And I'm going to answer it in a very different way. And maybe you have or haven't heard it already. But in this video, we're going to hit this whole idea that it's done here and now and that creation is finished like never before. So stick with me. You're going to want to watch this video. Welcome. My name is Rose. Welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. If you're interested in joining the Rosey Life new Platinum program that begins July 15th, the signups are already open. I just wrapped up the retreat this last weekend with the last program members, and it was amazing. If you didn't see the short, you can watch it. Still getting all the wonderful people emailing me from the program telling me, like one lady just this morning said that when she returned back home that she was here in shopping with her family member that she brought with her, and they were just charging and paying for things, and they got home and she said and she got an unexpected amount of money that literally paid for all of the trip and then some. So I keep getting these stories and I love them so much. And if you're wanting more information about that program, it's all on RoseyLife.com. I'm going to be making a couple of changes to the program. And really what the change is instead of it being a one-day retreat at the end of the program, it's a one-day in-person retreat with everybody. And I'm so happy that everybody was able to fly in and come and meet each other. That was amazing. It was just incredible. So much fun. But this time, what I am planning for this upcoming July retreat is our retreat will be in January, and sometime in January, don't know the date yet, but it's going to be a not one-day retreat, but it's going to be a 2-day retreat, and we're going to be doing it in Mexico because it's January. So we're going to be doing a 2-day retreat together. I'll be hanging out there for extra few days just to have fun and hang out with whoever's in the program as well. But we will be doing a 2-day retreat in Mexico as well. So if you're interested, you know what to do. So, by the way, and thank you guys for the members. Thank you guys for being patient on the changes with that. There is the 2 different levels of membership. The level 1 is I'm making extra content there. Level 2 is completely live Q&As, and I come on there and answer questions live, not once, not twice, but many times throughout the month, and sometimes multiple times in a week. And it's very casual, very laid back, and I absolutely love doing it and getting to know the people in the live Q&A as well. Okay, so let's get to it. Had to get those little announcements out of the way. And yes, I'm wearing the Be Still and Chill t-shirt. Do you need it? No. Is it fun? Yes. Do you need coaching? No. Is it fun? Yes. Is it helpful? Yes. You can read all the comments and see it for yourself. I don't got to prove it. The proof is in the pudding. All right, so let's get to it. So the question is, where's my stuff? I've done this, I've done that, I've tried everything. I know I'm God, I'm blah, 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 right? I hear all of it, right? But here's why I want to present this in a different way. And I actually heard this from Bashar a long time ago. It was really, I don't even remember, it was a really old video. And I remember him saying it very quickly, but it had me pause. And I realized that I've heard for so long, I remember, that creation's finished. We've heard this before. Creation's finished. It's done. You hear this, it's done, it's done, it's done, creation's finished. But those are like muted words going in one ear and out the other to me. And I was like, it's done. What do you mean it's done? What do you mean it's done? What do you mean creation's finished? So then I was like trying to accept that creation's finished. But in my mind, and maybe some of you resonate with this too, in my mind, I thought creation's finished, that God created everything billions and billions and billions of years ago. Like when he created the sun and the stars and the moon and created all the cats and dogs and birds and trees and then people, and God created all of it at once. And then God created Adam and Eve. And then Adam and Eve began to evolve. And through these stories, whatever you want to believe, religious or not, or whatever your religious background is, insert it there, okay? But then I thought, God created all this stuff billions and billions of years ago. It's already done. God created all of it back then. And that ever since God created it, we've just evolved with it, and we've just created more stuff and keep evolving from what God created, and that we're still creating, that it's still God creating, but that what God created was like all the way back over there somewhere in the past, right? No, that's not it at all. And here is this mind-blowing realization that I had. The moment of all creation, as A Course in Miracles says, the holy moment. The holy moment, which Eckhart Tolle says, now, the power of now. Everything is now. All these spiritual teachers, new and old, talk about now, being present now, that there's only this moment now. The holy moment is now. What is that? Why do we hear there's no past and future, there's only now? Get this. The moment that God created all things, everything, God created it all, creation's finished, is now. You are standing in the moment of all creation, because that moment has always been now. There is no past moments. There is no future moments. There's only now. We all stand in the holy moment, the infinite, eternal moment, in God, with God, as God, of all creation. This is the moment that God created all things. You are in it. You are in it. And when you remember that, you realize it wasn't billions of years ago. It's now. I'm in the moment of all creation right now. That's why everything is done. Nothing is being created. It's all created now. I'm in the holy moment now. So what happens? We experience different things. We experience different emotions, age, like evolution. We feel like time is passing by, right? But really, you're just moving around the one and only holy moment, this moment. And every time you move in mind, you have an experience of time moving around. So I gave an example, and I've given this example to a couple of people. There's if you think about a fire pit, okay, and in the center of the fire pit is the fire. And then there's all these chairs around the fire pit so everybody can sit around, right? Well, imagine you are the fire. You are the light. I am the light. And depending on where you sit around the fire, you might get smoke in your eyes, right? You might feel the warmth of it, or you might get the embers falling on you, Or you might feel like I don't feel it because it's pushing that way, right? So depending on what side of the fire pit you're sitting on is going to determine your experience of that fire, of that life. That fire is you. It's the holy moment. So you're just moving in consciousness. You're moving in mind by saying, I'm this or I'm that. And then that gives the experience that you're moving in time. But there's only one holy moment. Everything is happening right now. So every time you think of something, you're just moving chairs. Think about it, you're just moving your little seat around the fire. You're deciding where you're going to sit around the fire pit. And depending on what chair you're at, you're going to experience the holy moment differently. As a poor man, as a wealthy man, as someone that lost 10 pounds, someone that gained 10 pounds. Do you see someone employed, someone not employed? But no matter what seat you're in, you're still experiencing the one and only holy moment from a different perspective. That's all that's ever happening. Because it feels like time is going. It feels like it. But that's because of the experience of time, the concept of time. So when you shift in your mind and you declare or assume yourself to be something else, you move chairs in mind. But what happens is you see your physical body in the other chair that you don't want to be in. And you think, well, I'm still in the chair. You're not the one that's going to move you from one chair to the other, from one reality to the other. You've moved in mind and decided, this is who I am. But yet you see your body in the other chair. That's Source moving you. Source moves you. God moves you. God does a how do you get from one chair to the other. You've already mentally are there, and you allow God to unfold everything in 3D for you. You are moved. You are moved. You're not doing anything. I know it feels like you're taking actions and you're the one deciding what actions to take, and you will have actions. You will take actions. You will move, but it's not you doing it. It's your state dictating where you're going to be moving to. So that is why the question is always, who are you? Who are you now? Who do you say you are? What are you? Who are you identifying yourself to be? Are you rich? Are you poor? Are you married? Are you single? Are you alone? Who are you? Because wherever you are in consciousness, God, Source, moves you to the thing that you want to be. But a lot of people will say this, they'll affirm it, imagine it, assume it, and then they physically see themselves in the old version, forgetting that's the old version, that's the old identity, that's the old story. And then you react to the old story, forgetting that you already chose a new story, and that now everything that's going on is part of how you get to the other one. And you don't have to figure out how you get to the other version or reality that you want to be in. That's not your job. That's Source's job. Your only job is to continue identifying, knowing that every single thing that is happening is leading you to who you want to be. So you want to be still and chill and remember that Source is doing all the work. Source is moving you to this new version or this new identity or this new person that you say you are. Instead, you're identifying as that person now, but yet you see yourself physically in a different situation and you think nothing's happening. That's because you're trying to figure out what's going on. How do I get there? What am I supposed to do? Nothing. There's nothing for you to figure out. You don't have to figure anything out. You're not required to figure anything out. And when you do try to figure it out, and when you do start looking at where your physical body is, you start judging it and saying you're not moving and nothing's happening. Instead of remembering, I'm not the one moving me. I'm not the one doing the work. It's Source doing the work. I've already decided where I'm going, and everything now I'm doing, everything I'm thinking, everything I'm feeling, everything that I'm eating, wearing, everything is leading me to who I say I am. Everything is leading me to it. But you don't have to sit around and say, do I make this decision or that decision? Is this leading me to it or is that leading me to it? That's you still trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. Be still and chill. Let Source figure it out for you. Do you see? So, recap. Creation is finished. You're standing in the moment of all creation right now. You're not creating anything. This is the moment that the scripture speaks about, that God created the heavens and the earth. That's now. That wasn't billions of years ago. That's right now. You are standing in the one and only moment that has ever been and that ever will be of all creation, and that is right now. With God as God, you are being moved. The physical you is being moved to take actions and do things. But if you sit around asking questions, is this an action? Is that an action? Is this an action? Is that, what is inspired action? What's the difference between this? Stop trying to figure it out. In fact, the more that you just surrendering is, I give up trying to figure this out. I'm done. I'm done trying to figure out how this is going to happen. I'm done trying to understand more. I'm done trying to understand what's happening, trying to understand what beliefs I have to change. You don't got to change anything. You just have to choose who you are and say, no, it doesn't matter. I've already made a decision and I know that I'm being moved to it. And right now, I'm just going to chill and do whatever I want to do whatever I feel good, because I know that whatever I'm doing anyway, it's leading me to it. I'm done trying to analyze this. I'm done trying to figure it out. I'm done trying to fix myself or fix beliefs or fix thoughts or fix feelings. It's like, no, I'm just going to be chill. I'm going to accept it. And an acceptance is huge in being still. You're saying, no, I know that what's happening right now is leading me to everything. You are literally deciding, you're choosing to be still. It doesn't mean like, sometimes for some of you, if you guys have written me or the sessions that I've had about being still, you literally tell me you sit down and you don't do anything when you don't know what to do, and that actually brings you peace. And then you're actually moved to do something. Do you see? It's different for everybody. There's no one size fits all here. But what there is a knowing that you are God. You are standing in the middle of all creation right now. That's why everything is done. That's why you don't have to make it happen. That's why there's nothing to fix. There's nothing to fix. If you don't like how you feel and you don't like what you've done and you don't like the story you're in, then move to a different chair around the fire pit and say, well, I'm over here. And if you're there and you feel like you messed something up, you're like, well, I can't mess anything up because I can just pick up and move to another chair now. Instantly. This doesn't take time. This is instant. Everything is instant. Why is everything instant? Because there's only the holy moment. There is no, this is going to take time. I'm trying. I'm going to work on it. There is none of that. That's all those are all different seats around the fire pit that you're deciding that it's going to take time now. It doesn't take time. Everything is instant. Everything's now, because there's only this holy moment of now. Only the holy moment of now. And the more that you come back and remember that, rest in that, I am standing in the moment of all creation right now. Time is just one of those chairs that I'm sitting in. And every time I get up and move to a different chair, that's my experience of movement of time. That's the experience of movement. Do you see? It's the experience of movement. In the retreat, I gave an example, and I promised the people there that I would make a video and include that here. And I just put my arm up, and I said, so for me to do this, I said, it feels like time has to go by, right? It took whatever, a second, 2 seconds. But really, for me to get here to here, because there is only this moment of time, that this is one view of that eternal now. This is another view of the 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 eternal now. It feels like time is going by. It feels like it's like a one sweet, perfect hand motion. But really, I keep going into different realities. I move around the fire pit for you to see, or me to see and experience the movement of a smooth hand wave. That's all that's happening. There is no time. There is no time lapse. There's no time lag. None of that exists. There's only this perspective, this perspective, this perspective, this perspective, this perspective. It's of the holy moment. You keep changing your perspective, and we do it so quickly, it feels like movement. Remembering that there's only now, the eternal now, the holy moment of now, whatever you want to call it, is how you free yourself from this belief that it's taking time, that it's going to take time. That's what you want to free yourself from, is remembering that there's only this holy moment. And if as soon as you get into, but what about this, but what about this, but what about this, but what about that, but what about this? Because a lot of you will start asking questions like that and forget everything that I said in this video, that you don't have to figure anything out. Stop asking. Stop trying to figure it out. You are everything right now. There's no problem. Nothing's wrong. You are everything right now. You are standing in the holy moment of all creation with God as God. That's powerful. That is powerful. I get chills every time I think about that, every time I'm aware of it. And it's often. I choose to be aware of that often, especially when the mind wants to go in a trying to figure out, how do I control my thoughts? How do I control my feelings? Oh my God, all my thoughts create. There's only now. I'm standing in the moment of all creation. But what happens is most of you, many of you, not most of you, but many of you are more involved in trying to figure out the human you, how to control your feelings, how to control your thoughts, how to control your body. You're still stuck and wrapped up in trying to figure out this human form with thoughts and feelings. You're still trying to figure it out and control that, instead of going right to the top and remembering who you really are. You are the eternal moment. You are the flame. I am the light. I am the life. I am the truth. I am the way. That's what that means. There is nothing to figure out. It's all you. It's all you. And it's all now. And it's all good. All right, my loves, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know you will, and I know you'll let it sit with you. I know you'll let that sit with you. I love you guys all so, so much. And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And thank you for liking the video and sharing it with others. I appreciate you guys all so, so much. And I'll see you soon, because you're all so freaking amazing. Beyond words. Amazing. I'll see you soon. Bye.